All right, folks. So today we are talking about strength training for advanced athletes. Okay. So this is you. You might be a weightlifter, a powerlifter, someone that just enjoys their strength training. You've trained for a long time. Okay. You've done your beginner progressions. You've done your starting strength, your strong lifts, that kind of stuff. You've done your intermediate progressions. Maybe you've hit something like a Texas method or a heavy, like medium type of approach. Any kind of intermediate progression that's going to have you progression on like a weekly or a fortnightly basis. You've milked that dry. You've done everything you can with that, and progress is just halting. You're just grinding yourself into the ground. You cannot get any further. Okay. So this is where, as a coach, this is where I start to introduce a lot more nuance, a lot more variety into the way that I program, and it becomes a lot more important to start tracking. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do to get your progress moving again, start making strength progress as an advanced lifter. The first one is you have to get more involved with the data of your program, okay? If you're someone that's naturally strong or you're someone that's gained strength really easily, this might seem really boring and geeky and crap to you. But as a coach, this is what I do for a lot of people, and I've got a lot of people squatting significant amounts of weights, deadlifting significant amount of weights, and benching a lot of weight. But it's all about tracking your data and learning how to individualize that, okay? So for my athletes, I'll be tracking things like their total amount of sets and reps per week as a basic. You're going to be tracking things like your total weekly volume, maybe how many hard sets you're doing, how many medium sets. I also like to break some of my more advanced lifters down into, how many competition lifts are they doing, how many close variations, how much bodybuilding work are they doing. So you start to get this profile of the different types of exercise, how many sets of each different type they're doing, and how much as a percentage that makes up of your overall weekly training. It's more complicated. It's time consuming. That's why I charge for these kind of services, guys. If you are going to do this yourself, set it up in Excel or some kind of spreadsheet, and just build it up over time as you see fit, okay? But there's no real way around doing this. You need this data now. There's no way that you can just YOLO, chuck a bunch of crap into a program and hope it works. You need to be tracking this, okay? This is why you think about the best weightlifting teams in the world. It's why they employ sports scientists, data scientists, okay? Because you need this information. So that's the first thing I'm going to want you to do. Second thing, okay, is now you've got data. You need to be thinking about how you individually respond to specific exercises, specific set schemes, specific rep schemes, okay? We need to know how you as an individual respond. And you've got, at this point in your career, okay, this is why this video isn't for beginners. At this point in your training career, you've got years upon years of information to work on. So you've got all this data. You've got even just your past experience, your memories, okay? You can go, well, okay, when I do bench press, I can do heavy singles for 2 to 3 weeks at the end of a peak. And I'm fine, but if I go for a 4th week, my shoulder starts to niggle and my form starts to break down. So that's something that you can bear in mind, okay? That's just one example of information that you've got stored up there that you know how to adjust, okay? And you can start to craft these individualized programs for yourself based on that knowledge that you have. So that's the second thing, okay? So you've collected your data, and then you start to really think and analyze this data and analyze what have you done in the past? How do you respond to individual exercises, all right? The third thing you need to do with all this information, as you start to structure this into a program, is you have to draw that program out, okay? So weekly progress, gone, right? Fortnightly progress, gone. Even monthly progress is probably sacked off at this point, okay, guys? You're really going to have to utilize phasic structures, okay? And what I mean by that is hypertrophy blocks that might be a lot longer than you're used to, okay? A hypertrophy block, might have been short in the past. Now it might be a couple of months. You might spend 8, solid weeks just hammering hypertrophy work, higher reps with a wide variety of exercises, general physical preparedness. From there, you might move into a strength block. With my athletes, I often have a strength block A and a strength block B. One of them that focuses on strength that's sort of like, your 5s, your 6s, those kind of reps. One that moves into your 3s or your 2s and puts in a few like heavier singles at the end of those sessions. And then after your strength blocks, then you're going to have a peaking block at the end where you move on to heavy singles and you get that nervous system fired up. All of these blocks are going to need to take longer. You can't just be like, 1 week in here, peak in a week, smash back onto it. It's just not the way it works. It's almost like the concept of inertia, right? You're physically bigger. You're a bigger object. It just takes more initial force to get that object moving, okay? You need to gain that momentum, and it takes a little bit more time. Really good example might be, you think about someone that deadlifts 800 pounds, right? You've got someone that pulls a ton of weight. What's the likelihood that they're going to be able to go from doing sets of 10 in like the deadlift, and then the next week start hitting heavy singles? basically it's not happening, is it, right? Their body is not primed for that at all. They're going to need multiple weeks of peaking to transition their body, to transition their nervous system all the way over to there in a way that a beginner or an intermediate just really wouldn't need, okay? So you need to start thinking about expanding this program out more and more and more, and then fill in each block with the specific exercises that we talked about from your data collection, okay? I know that isn't as sexy as you want it to be. I know there's no, like, you know, everyone wants the next exercise or rep scheme or whatever. For you now as an advanced strength athlete, it's about data collection. It's about getting your information and organizing it intelligently in a way that works for you specifically, okay? If you like this video, if this is really useful, if you could literally just take a couple of minutes just to hit the like button, it's going to help it get out to more people. If you want some more videos like this, then hit the subscribe button and I will be putting out some more information. And yeah, that's it for today. I've got a link down in the description where you can find longer form articles and more videos on my website where there's coaching, pre-written programs, all that kind of stuff. So feel free to check that out and I will see you in the next video. See you there.